10 more mistakes. Number 1, he wanted to know how much staples he used. Now there are 2 mistakes in this sentence. First mistake is countability. We've got an S on this word, and that's for plural, but we've used much, and much is for uncountable, which means it's for words very often which don't end in an S in the plural. So how many staples? He wanted to know how many staples. Now this part here, I also consider this a mistake. This is a mistake with the tenses. He wanted to know how many staples he had used, because the using happened before he wanted to know. So he wanted to know how many staples he had used. This was a scene from IT Crowd, and the student was retelling the episode. And yeah, just a couple of mistakes. One with the tense and one with the countability. Other than that, it's a good sentence. Okay, number 2. He even didn't realise they were robbers. Here, we need even in a different place. This adverb always goes, well, not, it could go at the start or the end of the sentence, but it doesn't go after the pronoun. It must go in between the main verb and the auxiliary verb. It must go in the middle, like many other adverbs of frequency. Always, often, sometimes, never, ever. They all go there, and even does too. Okay, number 3. What's the point to be angry? Unlucky. This is a great expression, very natural phrase, what's the point? But it's not what's the point to. It's what's the point in. And then you need a gerund because of the preposition being angry. Okay, that is a gerund. What's the point in being angry? I'll write that again because I don't think I've made it very clear there. What's the point in being angry? Yeah, there's no point in getting angry, you might say. Very common expression. Number 4, they discovered that someone was staring the victim. No, not staring. Staring does mean watch someone for a long time, but it doesn't mean watch like follow someone's movements. Okay, for that we use watch. They discovered that someone was watching the victim, and that means watching them maybe from another building with binoculars, following them around, maybe recording their movements. That's watching the victim. It's not staring. Staring just means maybe out of anger or maybe out of love. You're looking at someone for a long time. It could be because you're annoyed with them, or it could be some other more romantic reason, but we'd use watching for when the police are watching someone. Okay, number 5. I hope I made a good impression for this guy. Really good sentence, except for the preposition. I hope I made a good impression on this guy. Okay, I think the student was talking about an interview. Okay, number 6. Even if they suggested me more money, this was the same student, and he was also talking about a company and a potential company that he might work for, and he was saying, even if they offered me more money, I wouldn't take the job. Okay, even if they offered me more money. You offer something. You don't suggest something. You can suggest a plan. So you can suggest something. You can suggest a plan or an idea, but you can't suggest someone a gift, or not a gift here, but some kind of substantial substance. You can offer someone a drink. You can offer someone some help. You can offer someone some more money. You can offer someone a job as well. So please don't confuse these 2 words. They're very often confused. Number 7, she is more aimed on her homework. This is a collocation mistake or just vocabulary mistake. The student didn't mean aimed, they meant focused. Yeah, she is more focused on her homework. Okay, number 8. After 2 weeks we're going to Turkey. Not after. This is again a preposition mistake. Although we do mean in the future. For the future we just say in. In 2 weeks we're going to Turkey. Okay, number 9. Very common mistake. I've probably covered this before. We don't say how does he look like in English. We use a different word from how. We use what. What does he look like? I'm under the impression that a lot of languages use how, because I've heard it from students from different nationalities and different countries, and a lot of them still use how when we use what. Okay, the last one's quite interesting because I had to think about this one, and we've got two afraids. We've got afraid of, which is unintentional, and afraid to, which is intentional. What do I mean? I mean that if we look at this sentence, when you fall off a bike, you don't do it intentionally. It's always an accident. Nobody wants to fall off their bike. And so really, she is afraid of falling. Got to make it a gerund with the preposition. She is afraid of falling off the bike. Okay? Because this is unintentional. But if we talk about something intentional, for example, going into a building late at night, maybe you're a kid and there's a local scary building and you want to go in there, but you say, I'm afraid to go in there because it's very scary. Now this would be intentional. The walking inside would certainly be intentional. And so you can say, I'm afraid to go into that scary house or something like that, because then we're talking about an intentional act. So there are two afraids there. Afraid of, I'm afraid of spiders, I'm afraid of the dark. None of this is intentional. I'm afraid of falling off the bike, but I'm afraid to go into that room, or I'm afraid to speak to him. Yeah, maybe he's a very scary person. Well, speaking to him would be intentional. I'm afraid to speak to him. Okay, if you have any questions about these mistakes, please ask them under the video. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you all soon.